Welcome back, guys. So in the last video we discussed the top tools that you need, kind of like the essentials that you're going to have to make money with woodworking, where to get started. In this video we're going to go a little deeper into that, as far as once you have grown out of that tool, once you have saved your money, you've made the money to buy, to upgrade, where we're going to get that and what we're going to move to. We barely hit on that on the last one. We just kind of said, hey, once you go from a skill saw, you've grown out of that, let's focus on getting a table saw. We did not go into detail on where to buy that, how much to spend, things like that. So in this video, we're going to discuss whether you need to go out, buy a brand new item, or if you can just buy one used. Let's get started. So in the last video, I had a lot of comments on buying used tools whenever you go to upgrade. So shout out to Stan W, Robert R, and Paul M for dropping me these comments and letting me know, hey, people need to know about this. So what they were saying was, I need to tell you guys that when it's time to upgrade, you don't have to go out and buy something brand new right off of the shelf or shipped into you. And if you buy a piece of used equipment, you can actually achieve this goal of upgrading quicker. Because, like I said in my previous videos, we're saving up for this. We're making sales. As we make those sales and we save the money, we go out and we buy what we need to upgrade. We do not upgrade before that. We do not spend money that we do not have to upgrade. So by buying used equipment, this will actually allow us to upgrade faster. If you've watched any of my other videos where you've seen some of the equipment that I have in my shop, everything that I have is over 15 years old, with the exception of my table saw. As far as big equipment, my joiner, a shaper, drum sander, all that stuff's over 15 years old. My planer that I'm actually working on, it is, I think it's like from the 50s, 60s maybe, but it's an old Powermatic 7.5 horse, I mean just power horse. They do not make them like that anymore, and it's the same thing with a lot of these other tools that you can find online for a fraction of the prices if you were to buy it new. The best place that I have found to buy used equipment is Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Yes, Craigslist is kind of an old school, but a lot of times people that have this equipment, they're not on Facebook, so they're still posting on Craigslist. Craigslist seems to have less pictures, but still great resource. So if you had, let's say, $500 saved up to buy your next piece of equipment and you're wanting to buy your table saw next, okay, you're wanting to upgrade, you know, let's say from your skill saw to a table saw. This is an example on how you can actually get two pieces of equipment with that same money that you've worked hard for to save up. Buy a used table saw, and then you'll have the leftover money to buy maybe a small joiner, if you're lucky, a used planer, you know, things like that, that you can actually get more for your money. So right before filming this, hopped on my phone, went to Marketplace and just typed in table saw. This is one of the very first things that popped up. Okay, so this Delta may look to you like it's a little bit roached out, but look at the price. I mean, it's sold. No wonder it's sold. I mean, someone saw the potential in that piece and bought it up. This is what it's comparing to. Now, this is the new version. All right, so this is if you go to the store and you buy it, things like that. The good thing about the old one that I just showed you from Marketplace is that the older versions typically seem to have more horsepower in the motors, and they're kind of better built. They were made to last. A lot of these older motors, just like on that Delta, are actually designed to accept the wiring for 110 or 220. So if you want more horsepower, less drag on your electricity, you can wire it for 220. Oftentimes, the machines now, they do not even come with that option. One of the big differences between the old Delta and the new Delta is the old one has a 1.5 horse motor on it, and the new one has a 1 horse, and the new one is only 110 capable. So I like to run 220 anytime that I can. Prevents the machine from getting overworked, prevents the motor from getting too hot, cords, things like that. So you may look at this old table saw and you may say, hey, It's kind of roached out. You know, why are you telling me I should buy something like this? Another big thing is these old machines are easy to work on and they're easy to restore. A little bit of elbow grease and you can save hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not thousands in some cases. I have several videos on restoring old equipment. This joiner behind me in most of these videos, you should have seen this thing. I have pictures of it. If I can find them, I'll throw them on here. So a lot of people, they see these pictures, you know, they don't want to take the time, the people selling them, to clean them up, things like that. They really don't know what they have, you know, or they may not even be in the carpentry at all. They just, you know, have it out in their garage. So they just post it as is. It's roached out. It's cobwebs on it. It's dirty. It's rusted solid. I mean, it just looks nasty. But you have to be able to look past that, see the diamond in the rough there, get this heck of a deal, and upgrade your equipment for a fraction of the price. So that table saw is actually a very similar model to my contractor table saw. So this is what it would look like cleaned up. This was just me cleaning off the cast, putting a little fresh paint to it, and really just washing it. One of the most important things that you need to do whenever you go to buy a piece of used equipment is, if you don't know enough about equipment to feel comfortable going to look at a piece of used equipment, take a friend with you. That was another suggestion from Paul M. Awesome suggestion. But take a friend with you that may know a little bit more about it. But if you find yourself by yourself, make sure, if it has a motor, make sure that the head, any type of head, moves. Okay, make sure it's freed up. Make sure it's not locked up. If the head is locked up, you may ought to pass on that unless you know what you're looking at and what you're dealing with. But for the most part, the heads will be fine. You just need to take everything apart, grease everything, clean everything, and you'll have a piece of equipment that runs just like brand new, just like this joiner. You know, I showed you the picture of it. I'll show you a picture of a shaper, drum sander, and you can see the before and after on why someone would price these things so cheap online versus if I was to try to sell these now. You know, I could double my money. So when you go to look at this stuff, be it from Craigslist, Marketplace, wherever, there's a few little tips and tricks. Well, you know, we already talked about, you know, making sure, of course, the motor's free and bring a friend if you're not comfortable. But bring cash. Cash is king. Everybody likes to see those green dollars, you know, whenever you're negotiating on a price. Never hurts to ask. Hey, can you do any better? You have it listed for $250. I'll give you $200 cash now for it. Worst thing they can say is no, and you still come out with a nice machine. And never pay before you actually get your hands onto a piece of equipment. If they want you to send them money to hold it, if they want you to do this or whatever, don't do it. You need to get your hands on, lay your eyes on it, actually see if this is a good quality machine, because people hide all kinds of things in their photos, okay? Go look at the machine, take a look at it. You'll be able to tell right away whether it's a nice heavy duty machine that it's been taken care of, just been in a damp place and maybe picked up the moisture and it rusted up, or if it was abused. You'll be able to tell that right away. So moral of the story is, you do not have to go out, buy brand new equipment. You can if you would like, if you feel more comfortable with that, if you don't know enough about restoration of these things. And when I say restoration, I'm not talking about like taking apart a motor and rewinding the coils and all this stuff. I'm talking about cleaning it, taking it apart and cleaning it. But if you're not comfortable with, you know, the basics of that type of thing, then by all means, keep saving your money, buy something that, you know, that will be useful. But if I had my choice, let's say if I'm going from a skill saw and I have a $300 budget or a $200 budget, and I had my choice between a job site table saw, usually they're like 3/4 horse, maybe half horse, and this old Delta, I'm going with this old Delta every time. I mean, heck, if that old Delta was still for sale, even though I have plenty of table saws, I'd probably go buy it just because I know I could clean it up, flip it, make my money back, and buy another tool with extra. Another big difference between this old school equipment or older equipment, even though it looks like it's brand new, cleans up like it's brand new, the reason why is because it's mostly cast. A lot of the new, cheaper, you know, job site type of saws are all aluminum. The older ones were all cast steel, things like that, that will actually last forever. Yeah, they'll break if you drop them. The aluminum is going to dent if you drop it. I'd rather deal with the cast and deal with the possibility of rust and things like that any day than the aluminum. So when you go to upgrade, do you have to buy brand new equipment? No, brand new equipment is nice, it is beautiful, you know, it's pretty, but it's not going to stay that way if you use it. It's going to be covered in sawdust and dirt and all that stuff as it should be, so it's not going to matter what it looks like. Keep that in mind. You do not have to buy the best of the best. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. We talked about this before. Who cares what other people have? Whatever you have, whatever works for you, whatever works for your budget, because we are not going into debt for this, right? Okay, buy used. Then the next step is, once you've used that, you're making money with that, and let's say that you've outgrown this table saw and you want a commercial table saw, you know, a cabinet style. However, then you can start looking at your brand new machines. Until then, you can keep going up with better used equipment. So the bottom line is there is nothing wrong with using used equipment. So again, the point of this video, I read your comments. We are a woodworking community. We have to help each other out with these type of things. That's what we do. Don't try to keep secrets from people. Whatever you learn, teach it to somebody else. The same for this. Give suggestions just like these fellas gave to me on, you know, going over this with other people that are getting into woodworking. We help each other out. That's how we grow as a community. That's how we keep this craft alive. And that's how we can make money with woodworking, by helping each other out. If you've enjoyed this video, enjoyed this type of content, make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I'm going to try to put out as much of these tips and tricks for the woodworking business / side hustle as I can. Also, this is proof. I read your comments, as many as I can. I try to comment back. Drop me comments below if there's something that you would like to see or if you have questions about. I already have plans on videos of how to price your material, how to ship, how to sell online, how to sell at, you know, just different places. If you want to go set up at this is getting off subject. So, but anyway, we're going to hit all of these different things. So you're going to have tons of questions. I'm going to answer as many as I can. So thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Until next time, go out, make some money, learn some more, educate yourself on everything that we're doing here. See ya.